Hey everyone, and welcome back to Usof Reacts. Today, we're cracking open a cinematic time capsule, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This isn't just a rewatch. It's a deep dive into why T2 still resonates decades later. We all remember the explosions, the catchphrases, the groundbreaking CGI. But T2 is more than just spectacle. It's a film grappling with complex themes about free will, technology, and what it means to be human. Let's rewind. Sarah Connor, after her ordeal with the first Terminator, is now a hardened warrior, convinced of the impending Judgment Day. She's locked up, labeled as crazy, but she's not wrong. Skynet, the AI, is coming. Enter the T-1000, a terrifyingly advanced Terminator made of liquid metal. Robert Patrick's performance is chilling. It's not just strong, it's relentless. This thing is a predator in human form. Then, we have the T-800, back, but reprogrammed. Sent to protect John Connor, the future leader of the Resistance. This creates a fascinating dynamic. The machine learning about humanity, about compassion, even about humor. The relationship between Sarah, John, and the T-800 is the heart of the film. Sarah's distrust, her fierce protectiveness of John, and the T-800's gradual understanding of human connection. It's surprisingly emotional. A cyborg, identical to the one who failed to kill Sarah Connor, must now protect her 10-year-old son John from an even more advanced and powerful cyborg. Over 10 years have passed since the first machine called the Terminator tried to kill Sarah Connor and her unborn son, John. The man who will become the future leader of the human resistance against the machines is now a healthy young boy. However, another Terminator, called the T-1000, is sent back through time by the supercomputer Skynet. This new Terminator is more advanced and more powerful than its predecessor, and its mission is to kill John Connor when he's still a child. However, Sarah and John do not have to face the threat of the T-1000 alone. Another Terminator identical to the same model that tried and failed to kill Sarah Connor in 1984 is also sent back through time to protect them. Now, the battle for tomorrow has begun. LA in 2029. The world has become a wasteland of wrecked cars, destroyed buildings. The voice of Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, starts narrating. 3 billion human lives ended on August 29, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They only lived to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. A battle is starting between human guerrilla troops and a technically far superior robotic army. A man is saluted by his soldiers as he crosses a destroyed hallway and starts to inspect the battlefield from a safe distance. Sarah's voiceover, Skynet, the computer that controlled the machines, sent 2 Terminators back through time. Their mission, to destroy the leader of the human resistance, John Connor, my son. The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was set to strike at John himself when he was just a child. As before, the Resistance was able to send a lone warrior as a protector for John. Flashback to the year 1995. A man, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is transported to the past. It is a Terminator. It enters a biker bar where it beats up some bikers and takes one of their clothes. On the way out, the Terminator steals the bar owner's shotgun and glasses and rides on a motorcycle into the night. In a different part of town, a police officer calls in a strange electrical disturbance to headquarters. A strange round hole burned into a fence. He is approached from behind by another naked man, Robert Patrick, slenderer than the Terminator, who instantly kills him. The man picks up the cop's gun, enters the police car fully clothed, and accesses the car's computer to find the address of John Connor. John Connor Edward Furlong lives with his foster parents Todd Xander Berkeley and Hanel Voigt Jeanette Goldstein, and leaves on his bike with his friend Tim Danny Cooksey. Sarah is in Pescadero State Hospital as nobody believes her narration of the first Terminator movie. John tells Tim that Sarah is a complete psycho because she got arrested for trying to blow up a computer factory. Sarah has visions of Reese telling him that John is in danger and she needs to save him. Sarah tries to reason with the staff doctor to let her see her son, but he refuses. Meanwhile, in a computer lab elsewhere, a computer developer called Miles Dyson Joe Morton is asked permission to conduct a test with a fragment of a computer chip and a metal robot arm that was clearly once attached to a Terminator. The Terminator identifies John passing through a galleria and then goes after him. The fake cop is there as well. The cop finds John and is about to attack when the Terminator opens fire on the fake cop with his shotgun. The gaping holes in the fake cop get filled quickly and then he is back on his feet. John escapes on his back into a canal and then the fake cop follows in a truck. The Terminator rides a bike and then jumps in front of the truck and then picks up John before he is crushed by the truck. Then the Terminator blows the truck tire, causing it to blow up in flames after crashing into a column. But the fake cop walks from it unharmed. John asks the Terminator to pull over the bike. His rescuer confirms it is a Terminator. John realizes that the Terminator has not come to kill him. The Terminator explains that John himself reprogrammed it 35 years in the future to be his protector in the present. The Terminator explains that the other guy is a T-1000, an advanced liquid metal. They leave the city to escape the T-1000. John insists on calling his foster parents to warn them, but the Terminator fakes his voice and then asks a trick question. Upon receiving the wrong answer, he knows it's the T-1000 that has killed Todd and Hanel. The Terminator explains to John that the T-1000 can imitate everything of equal size that it has sampled previously by physical contact. It can't become a bomb or other complex machines with chemicals and moving parts, but it can form knives and stabbing weapons. At the hospital, a policeman shows Sarah photos of the Terminator and then tells her that John is missing. John orders the Terminator to help him rescue Sarah. The Terminator is mission-bound to obey John's orders and it has to comply, even though he thinks rescuing Sarah will be dangerous as T-1000 is likely to be there. The Terminator and T-1000 reach the hospital at the same time. At first, Sarah thinks the Terminator is there to kill her and John, just like in the first movie. But then she finds T-1000 coming behind her and the Terminator attacking him. John assures Sarah that the Terminator is there to help them and this time, it's the T-1000 that's the threat. The Terminator gets into a fight with the T-1000 but is no match for its advanced weaponry. Sarah, the Terminator and John escape in a car. Sarah admonishes John for coming to the hospital to rescue her as he is way too important for that. Sarah asks the Terminator about who is responsible for building Skynet. The Terminator tells her that it is Miles Bennett Dyson, a high-ranking employee at Cyberdyne Systems, who will invent a new microprocessor that will revolutionize the entire military computer system. Cyberdyne computers will completely replace human functions and decisions in strategic defense systems. As the Skynet program goes online on August 4, 1997, it learns at such a fast rate that it becomes self-aware on August 29. As the humans try to shut it down, Skynet starts a nuclear strike that plunges the Earth's nations into a nuclear war. After an overnight stop, John and the Terminator find Sarah gone and know that she is after Dyson. Sarah enters the Dyson household and shoots him in the arm. But she can't bring herself to kill him in front of his wife and kids. The Terminator arrives with John and tells Dyson that he is a machine sent from the future. The Terminator convinces Dyson to destroy the chip prototype and the mechanical arm from the previous Terminator film in his lab. That is the only way to stop the development of Skynet. The Terminator reaches Cyberdyne Systems HQ with Dyson, Sarah and John and blows up away inside. This triggers an alarm that T-1000 reads on his police scanner. The Terminator keeps the police at bay as Dyson and Sarah work their way inside the vault to reach the chip and the metal arm. The SWAT team surrounds the building and starts shooting, which fatally wounds Dyson. Dyson offers to hold the SWAT team by holding onto a detonator that will destroy the lab. He gives Sarah, John and then the Terminator a few precious moments to escape before he dies, and then the detonator sets off the explosives. The T-1000 arrives and then sees the trio escape. He takes hold of a police chopper and then pursues them. The T-1000 crashes the helicopter at the back of the escape van, and then the helicopter is destroyed, but the van escapes without much damage. The T-1000 then takes hold of a truck and then resumes his pursuit. The trio move into a steel factory and then the truck crashes, releasing its cargo of liquid nitrogen. This freezes the T-1000 and then Terminator destroys it with his shotgun. But as the effect dissipates, the broken crystals melt and combine together, and then the T-1000 reappears in his fake cop format. The trio move further inside the steel mill to avoid the T-1000. The Terminator and then T-1000 engage in a deadly fight in which the T-1000 eliminates the Terminator by driving a steel rod through its spine. The red light of the Terminator goes out. As the T-1000 goes after Sarah and then John, the Terminator revives itself by finding an alternate power route. He gets up and then follows the T-1000. As the T-1000 attacks John and then Sarah, the Terminator arrives from behind and then shoots T-1000 several times with his shotgun and making him fall over into a hot tub containing molten iron. The T-1000 dissolves and then dissipates. John throws the metal arm and the chip in the iron molten pot as well. The Terminator reminds them that there is still one more chip that must be destroyed. It points at its skull. It takes the pulley and then step into the iron molten mix. Over the screams of John, who wants the Terminator to be there for him, the Terminator is dissolved and then dissipated, and then the red light of his eyes goes out. And let's not forget the action. T2E's action sequences were revolutionary. The motorcycle chase, the Cyberdyne raid, the final showdown in the steel mill, all iconic. The special effects, especially the T-1000's morphing, were mind-blowing for the time, and still hold up remarkably well. But beneath the explosions and the cool visuals, T2 asks tough questions. Are we destined to create our own destruction? Can we choose our own path, or is fate predetermined? The film doesn't offer easy answers, and that's what makes it so compelling. James Cameron's direction is masterful. The pacing is perfect, the visuals are stunning, and the performances are top-notch. Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor is a powerhouse. She's not just a damsel in distress. She's a survivor, a warrior, a mother fighting for her son's future. T2 was a massive cultural phenomenon, and for good reason. It's a perfect blend of action, sci-fi, and thought-provoking themes. It's a film that stays with you long after the credits roll. What do you think about T2? Let me know in the comments below. Did it live up to the hype? What's your favorite scene? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films.